Another girl just confessed her love to Levi. 13th time this semester. Even though everyone knows he has a girlfriend, they still throw themselves at him like hungry wolves. Luckily, I'm used to it. After all, I'm the one who told him not to go public with our relationship. Someone stepped up to comfort the crying girl, shooting Levi a playful, resentful glare. Same old excuse. Levi, could you at least change it up? Save the girl some face? Whoa. That's the drama department's queen bee, isn't it? Judging by those soft eyes and that intimate tone, is there something going on? I felt a spark of excitement. Is Levi about to cheat? Does this mean I can finally dump him guilt-free? Clearly, I wasn't the only one smelling drama. The mixer instantly buzzed with energy. Oh, look who's stepping in to comfort her. Smells like the real girlfriend. Energy saving the face he wouldn't give, huh? Does anyone not know our department, Queen and King, are the #1 ship on campus? They beat second place by 2,000 votes. Why are they even at this mixer? Just here to flex on US singles. Probably just supporting the class. Otherwise, this power couple would be on a date right now. The jeering got louder. Someone shoved the queen bee and she stumbled, nearly falling right into Levi's arms. I whipped out my phone, camera ready. I just needed them to hug, and click. Cheating evidence secured. But Levi dodged her like he was on roller skates. Smooth TSK. What a pity. I told you I have a girlfriend. Same old line. Someone laughed dismissively. Yeah, you've said it 100 times since freshman year. We all know you have a girlfriend. Another girl giggled, linking arms with the queen bee. And that girlfriend is her, right? You two been keeping it secret? The queen bee shook her head frantically, blushing with embarrassment and shyness. I glanced at Levi. Stop talking nonsense. I'm not his girlfriend. She's shy. She's shy. The noise erupted. I watched Levi's expression darkened. A bad feeling started to creep in. I heard him say, she's not my girlfriend. The queen bee chimed in. Exactly. If you guys keep talking nonsense, I'm gonna get mad. The others exchanged knowing looks and laughed. We get it. Wink, wink. Levi's face was now black as a skillet. He looked up, scanning the crowd. My heart skipped a beat. I tried to turn away casually, but he locked onto me in a second. Then, under the gaze of everyone in the room, he parted the crowd and strode straight toward me. He touched the glass in my hand and took it away. You have a bad stomach. Don't drink cold stuff. He downed the drink in one gulp, turned to the statues in the room, and said, I'm taking my girlfriend home. Under the dim lights, I saw the queen bee's face go pale. Her eyes fixed on me with a death stare. Levi actually has a girlfriend. The news swept through campus that night. By morning, the school forum was flooded with my info and photos. The judgment threads were building skyscrapers. She's so average. I can't believe it. Does Levi have an ugly fetish? A flower stuck in cow dung? Comparing her to Sienna is an insult to Sienna. Levi needs to see an optometrist. And those were the nice comments. Some were so nasty. I started to wonder if I was some hideous monster unworthy of life. After venting their confusion, the forum reached a consensus. I bet Levi just doesn't want to go public with Sienna yet. So he grabbed a random girl as a shield. This theory got rave reviews. Any dissenting opinions were ignored. I lay in bed scrolling with relish. I ignored Levi's messages and even liked the shield post, bringing the likes to a perfect 666. Just as I was clicking the next thread, my dorm door slammed open. My roommate, who slept on the bottom bunk, stormed in and smashed her lunchbox onto my bed. I jumped up dumbfounded, watching food splatter all over my sheets. You crazy. You're the crazy one. She stared at me with pure hatred. You're really Levi's girlfriend, right? I forgot. She's also one of Levi's secret admirers. She used to rant in the dorm about how shameless Sienna, the queen bee, was. You watch me fangirl over him every day. Were you? Laughing at me the whole time. I swear to God I wasn't. Levi has been a shining star since he was a kid. Even with his prickly personality, he shines. It's normal for everyone to love him. Why would I laugh? But my roommate clearly didn't see it that way. Her eyes were red, and she looked ready to scream more. But my phone interrupted her. Zoe, are you okay? My roommate and I both froze. I looked at my phone when I jumped earlier. I must have accidentally answered Levi's call. He heard everything. It was awkward. His tone was icy. I'm coming over. Don't. He hung up before I could finish. My roommate finally reacted. She threw herself on her desk and started wailing, like she'd been mortally wounded. You did that on purpose. Through her sobs, she spat venom at me. Don't get cocky, Zoe. The last person who crossed Sienna dropped out in disgrace. She won't let you off. Hearing this unexpected gossip, I didn't even blink. I just stared sadly at my quilt. I just changed the sheets. My spare set isn't dry yet. 5 minutes later, Levi arrived. My roommate bit her lip stubbornly. Levi glanced at my messy bed, his face cold enough to freeze water. Then he looked at her, undisguised disgust in his eyes. You did this? Being looked at like garbage by your crush is apparently hard to handle. My roommate's lips trembled, and she ran out crying. Levi stepped up onto the ladder with his long legs and started stripping my bed. I slid down to sit on his chair, scrolling the forum, eating my own melon gossip while dealing with him. Move out of the dorm. Where would I live? Rent a place off campus with you? I scoffed.
Dream on.
He went silent. My finger twitched, refreshing the page. 2 new threads popped up. Breaking Campus King just entered the girls' dorm. Debunked. Zoe cow dung might not be a shield. Her roommate just got dumped and ran out crying.
Vậy Cao Dung, seriously?
Levi walked over with the dirty sheets in a bag. Let's go buy new bedding. I looked up at him coldly. Did I or did I not say I didn't want people to know? But I hate them throwing themselves at me when they know I'm taken? I laughed sarcastically. Ungrateful. I only want you to like me. Everyone else can get lost. I hate it when he gets cheesy. He's been like this since we were kids. An emotionally stunted weirdo who followed me around calling Zoe. Zoe like a lost duckling. People thought I was his child bride. God knows. I was just a stray kid his grandpa picked up while collecting cans. Before his house. I lived under bridges and in hospital waiting rooms. And less than 2 years after I arrived, his parents died in a car crash. Grandpa died of grief soon after. I'm a jinx. He shouldn't be with me. The rumors got wilder. Besides attacking my looks, they added new lore. They said I was a rich heiress who used money and power to force Levi to be my boyfriend. They said I was loose sleeping with tons of guys on and off campus. They described it so vividly you'd think they were watching. At noon, I was at my new part-time job at a bubble tea shop. When I heard my roommate's voice, couldn't see who she was talking to, but I heard her say I wore cheap clothes, but used cameras worth thousands. The rumors aren't fake.
She's dirty.
Levi was definitely tricked. Really? The other voice was gentle.
Concerned.
Then Levi. There's no way Levi is with her because he likes her.
Who knows what dirty trick she used?
I wanted to laugh. I was about to look up when the agitated voice continued. Sienna, no one would choose her over you. Levi wants to be an actor. Your family owns a media empire. How could he not choose you? What are you saying? Choose me? The other voice sounded flustered, then sighed softly. It has nothing to do with my family.
I'm just worried about Levi.
Even if he doesn't like her, his reputation will suffer. You know how important a clean image is in this industry. Then you should steal him back. My roommate urged. If it was you, I'd accept it. Everyone would. But Zoe, who does she think she is? How is she worthy of Levi?
Stop. Stop saying that.
We're just good friends. Levi never makes friends easily. You're the special one. I quietly lowered my head, covering my face with the ingredient list. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Through the thin gap in the shelving unit, the smell of brewing black tea and tapioca pearls felt suffocating. My hand, trembling slightly, didn't reach for a weapon. It reached for the record button on my phone. You're the special one, my roommate Sarah simpered. It was pathetic. She was selling me out for a chance to be the handmaiden to the queen. Sienna's voice was like honey laced with arsenic. I just want to help him, Sarah. If Zoe really cared about him, she'd know that a girl with her background is a stain on him. My father is casting for the new lead in The Gilded Cage. Levi is perfect for it. But Dad won't hire someone involved in a scandal with a slum girl. A stain. Slum girl. I pressed stop on the recording. I waited until they left, their heels clicking in unison like a synchronized marching band of vipers. When I finally walked out of the shop, the sun was blinding, but I felt cold. I looked at the photos on the forum again.
Cao Dung. Jinx.
Maybe they were right. Levi was royalty in a disguise of indifference. I was the stray dog biting at his ankles, keeping him from running. I returned to the apartment Levi had rented near campus. He was already there, sitting on the floor, surrounded by scripts, but his eyes were fixed on the door. When I walked in, he didn't smile. He studied me, scanning for damage. You're late, he said. Bubble tea shift ran long. I tossed my bag on the sofa. Levi, we need to talk. No, we don't. He stood up, unfolding that long, lean frame that drove half the campus mad. He walked over and buried his face in the crook of my neck. He smelled like mint and old books. I saw the forum. I'm handling it. Handling it how? By punching someone. If I have to. Sienna's father is producing The Gilded Cage, I said quietly. Levi stiffened against me. He knew. Of course he knew. It was the role he'd been eyeing for 6 months. It was his breakout chance. I don't care, he mumbled against my skin. She says you won't get the part if you're with me. Levi pulled back, holding my shoulders. His eyes were dark, swirling with that familiar, intense possessiveness that terrified strangers, but grounded me.
Zoe.
Listen to me. I don't want the part if it comes with strings. I don't want the fame if I can't have you. You're not the baggage. You are the destination. That's a cheesy line. I deflected, looking away. It's the truth.
Now, eat.
I bought those spicy noodles you like. And I hired a lawyer. A lawyer? Levi, we have no money. I sold the watch. My breath hitched. The Patek Philippe was the only thing his father had left him. The only safety net he had. Levi. Eat, he commanded, his voice shaking just a little. Before I go find your roommate and make her eat her own lunchbox. 2 weeks later, the harassment moved from online to offline. It started small. Notes on my desk. Whore. Gold digger. Then my camera lens was smashed. Levi nearly expelled 3 students that day. The dean, terrified of the bad PR, gave Levi a warning, but the atmosphere on campus was radioactive. Then came the invitation. The arts department annual gala. The biggest event of the year. Industry scouts, directors, and the wealthy donors, meaning Sienna's family, would be there. We're not going, Levi said, tossing the heavy, cream-colored envelope into the trash. I fished it out. We're going. Zoe, it's a trap. Sienna organized the seating chart. I can smell her perfume on the paper. If we don't go, we look like we're hiding. We look guilty. I smoothed the paper. And I need to show them that cow dung dries hard. It doesn't wash away easily. Levi stared at me for a long moment, then a slow, dangerous grin spread across his face. Okay, but you're wearing red. The night of the gala, the air was thick with tension. Sienna was holding court in the center of the ballroom, wearing a shimmering silver gown that probably cost more than my entire life's earnings. She looked angelic. When Levi and I entered, the room went silent. I wasn't wearing a designer dress. I was wearing a vintage slip dress I'd thrifted and altered, dyed a deep blood red. It clung to me like a second skin. Levi wore a black tux, his hand gripping mine so tight his knuckles were white. We didn't walk, we marched. Sienna's smile faltered for a fraction of a second before she glided over, Sarah trailing behind her like a shadow. Levi, I'm so glad you changed your mind, Sienna beamed, ignoring me entirely. My father is dying to meet you. He's right over there. I'm here with my girlfriend, Levi said, his voice flat. Sienna finally looked at me. Her eyes flicked up and down.
Oh, Zoe.
Brave choice of color. It's a bit aggressive, isn't it? It hides wine stains, I said sweetly. In case anyone gets clumsy. Sarah scoffed. As if you can afford wine. Sienna, Levi cut in, his tone dropping several degrees. Tell your father I'm not interested in the role if it requires a single image. And tell your friends to stop vandalizing Zoe's locker, or I'll start breaking fingers instead of cameras. The hush in the room was deafening. Sienna's face crumpled into a mask of hurt innocence. Levi, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been defending you. Stop acting, Levi spat. You're a bad actress. That's why you need your daddy to buy your roles. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Sienna turned pale. She wasn't used to being told no, and she certainly wasn't used to being humiliated. She leaned in close, her voice dropping the shy facade, becoming pure venom. You think you've won? You're a charity case, Levi. And she's the anchor that will drown you. Watch what happens tomorrow. Sienna made good on her threat. The next morning, it wasn't rumors about me.
It was rumors about Levi.
Anonymous tip. Levi Ackerman, top student, plagiarized his entrance portfolio. Breaking. Levi Ackerman's mental health records leaked. Is he violent? They hit him where it hurt. His integrity. His privacy. The violent narrative was spun using photos of him defending me. Me, cowering.
Him, fists raised.
It looked like he was the aggressor, and I was the victim of him. The narrative flipped. Now the forum pitted me. Run, Zoe. He's a psycho. He's controlling her. Look at how he grabs her arm. It was brilliant. And evil. They were trying to save him by destroying him, forcing me to leave for my own safety, which would clear the path for Sienna to rehabilitate him. Levi was suspended pending an investigation into the plagiarism claims. I found him in our apartment, sitting in the dark. He wasn't looking at scripts. He was looking at a photo of his grandfather. I didn't steal that portfolio, he whispered. I know. They're going to expel me, Zoe. I have nothing left. You have me.
Doi.
He looked up, his eyes bloodshot. Look at what loving me does to you. You lose your friends. You lose your privacy. Now you're trapped with a violent psycho. I don't care about them.
Ido.
He roared, standing up and sweeping a stack of books off the table.
Ikare.
I wanted to give you a life, Zoe. I wanted to be someone so you wouldn't have to scrape by anymore. If I'm nothing, What good am I to you? I realized then that his arrogance was a shield. Beneath it, he was still the scared little boy whose parents never came home. He needed success not for ego, but to prove he was worthy of survival. And I was the one standing in his way. Sienna was right about one thing. As long as I was there, he would burn the world down to protect me, and he would burn himself with it. I made a choice. The hardest one of my life. I walked over and slapped him. Hard. The silence that followed was heavy. Levi looked stunned. You're pathetic. I lied, my voice steady despite my breaking heart. You think I stuck around for this? I stuck around because you were going to be a star. I stuck around for the payout, Levi. If you're just going to be a suspended nobody, why am I wasting my time? His eyes widened. The hurt in them was agonizing to watch. Zoe. Sienna's right. I sneered, channeling every ounce of acting ability I had picked up from watching him. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of being the cow dung. I want a normal life. And you're just too much work. You're lying. He stepped toward me. Am I? I pulled out my phone. I recorded Sienna offering to pay me off. I think I'm going to take it. 50,000 to leave town? That's more than you've ever given me. I threw a bag on the floor. I had packed it while he was in the shower. Zoe, don't. His voice cracked. He reached for me, but I flinched. Don't touch me. I'm done. I walked out the door. I didn't look back. If I had, I would have fallen to my knees. I heard him scream my name, a raw, guttural sound that haunted me for years. I took the bus to the train station. I didn't take Sienna's money, of course. I took a job in a different city, 300 miles away. I was the jinx, and the only way to break the curse was to remove myself from the equation. 3 years passed. I was living in Seattle now, working as a studio photographer. It was ironic. The girl who hated the camera now lived behind one. I went by Z. I kept my head down. I saw him everywhere, though. Levi Ackerman. He hadn't been expelled. The plagiarism charges were dropped, miraculously, a week after I left. Sienna's father had intervened. Now, Levi was the youngest Best Actor nominee in a decade. He was everywhere. Billboards, magazines, interviews. He looked different. Older. Harder. He never smiled in photos. The press called him the Ice Prince. And always, hovering in the background of the paparazzi shots, was Sienna. She was his manager, now. The rumors were that they were dating, though neither confirmed it. They were the power couple of the industry. The king and the queen. I read the articles. I tortured myself with them. Levi Ackerman credits his success to focus and solitude. Sienna Miller. The woman behind the genius. I was a ghost. A footnote in his biography. High school sweetheart. Whereabouts unknown. One rainy Tuesday, my boss threw a file on my desk. Big job, Z. The premiere of The Glass Wall. The lead actor requested a specific aesthetic.
Gritty.
Real.
Noredo ching.
The agency specifically asked for you. Me?
Yeah.
Someone saw your portfolio online. The Urban Decay series. They want that vibe for the promotional tour. I opened the file. Levi's face stared back at me. My heart stopped. Did he know? I can't do it, I said. You have to. It pays triple your yearly salary. And if you say no, you're fired. We need this contract. I looked at the photo. His eyes seemed to bore into mine. Cow dung, I thought. Cow dung makes the best fertilizer. Look how much you've grown.
Fine.
The shoot was in a warehouse in downtown Seattle. I set up the lights, my hands shaking. I wore a cap pulled low, a baggy hoodie and a mask. I was just the help, just the camera. When Levi walked in, the air left the room. He was even more devastating in person. He wore a tailored suit, but he looked tired, bone-weary. Sienna was with him, of course. She was barking orders at her assistant, checking her phone, looking every inch the industry mogul. All right, let's get this over with, Sienna announced. He has a flight to Tokyo in 3 hours. Photographer? Where are you? Here, I rasped, deepening my voice. Levi didn't even look at me. He walked to the mark, unbuttoning his jacket. Just tell me where to look. I raised the camera.
Through the lens, I saw him.
The real him. The tension in his jaw. The deadness in his eyes.
Click.
He flinched.
Click. Click.
I moved around him, silent, working fast. I knew his angles. I knew the way he held his tension in his left shoulder. I knew that if I asked him to think about the rain, he would give me a look of profound sorrow. Think about the bridge, I whispered, almost involuntarily. Think about the cans. Levi froze. The studio went silent. He turned his head slowly, peering into the darkness behind the strobes. What did you say? Sienna stepped forward. Hey, no speaking to the talent. Just take the picture. I lowered the camera. I took off the cap. Then the mask. Levi's face went white. Then, a flush of color, violent and alive, rushed back into his skin. Zoe. It wasn't a question. It was a prayer. Sienna gasped. You. What are you doing here? Security. Get out, Levi said. His voice was low, vibrating with suppressed rage. I know, Levi. I'll get her thrown out, Sienna started. Not her, Levi snarled, turning on Sienna.
You.
Get out. Everyone get out. Levi, you can't be serious. We have a schedule. You have a reputation. I said get out. He grabbed a lighting stand and hurled it across the room. It crashed into the wall with a deafening boom. The assistants scattered like roaches. Sienna looked at him, terrified, then at me with pure hatred. You ruin everything, she hissed at me. He was finally happy. He looks miserable, I said, my voice finding its old strength. Sienna stomped out, slamming the heavy metal door. We were alone. Levi stood amidst the cables and lights, chest heaving. He looked at me like I was a hallucination that might vanish if he blinked. You took the money, he said. The accusation hung in the air. I didn't. You left. I had to. You were drowning. I learned to swim, he shouted, stepping closer. I learned to swim in the mud, Zoe. Without you, I wasn't swimming, I was just floating.
Dead.
He reached into his pocket and pulled out a phone. Not his sleek new smartphone. An old, cracked model. My old phone. The one I left behind. I listened to it, he said. The recording. The one where Sienna offered you money. The one where you turned her down. I froze. You knew. I found it the day you left. I've listened to it every night for 3 years. It was the only thing that stopped me from killing myself. He was standing right in front of me now. He reached out, his hand hovering over my face, trembling. Why didn't you come for me? I whispered. Because you were right, he said, tears finally spilling over his lashes. I was weak. I let them hurt you. I had to become someone who couldn't be touched. Someone who could protect you. He dropped to his knees. The great Levi Ackerman, the idol of millions, kneeling on the dirty concrete floor of a warehouse. He wrapped his arms around my waist and buried his face in my stomach, sobbing. I have the power now, Zoe. I own the production company. I own the press. I own Sienna's father's debt. I bought it all.
For you.
I stroked his hair. It was softer than I remembered. You crazy fool. Come home, he muffled against my hoodie.
Please.
I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten a real meal in 3 years. The return wasn't quiet. It was an earthquake. Levi fired Sienna publicly the next day. He posted a single photo on his Instagram, a grainy, black and white shot of me holding a bubble tea cup, taken years ago. Caption. Asterisk, the only reality. Everything else was a performance. Asterisk. The internet broke. The cow dung threads were dug up, but this time, Levi's legal team was ready. They released the evidence. The bullying, the vandalism, the orchestrated smear campaign by Sienna and her clique. Sienna tried to fight back, playing the victim, but Levi released the audio. My recording. A girl with her background is a stain. We just need to get rid of her. Sienna's career evaporated overnight. The queen bee was dethroned, exposed as a manipulative bully. But none of that mattered to us. We were in his penthouse. It was too big, too cold, but we were filling it with cheap furniture and the smell of spicy noodles. My roommate, Sarah, she wrote a tell-all blog, I said, scrolling through my phone on the couch. She says she was coerced by Sienna. She's irrelevant, Levi said, resting his head on my lap while reading a script. Don't give them the clicks. They still say I'm ugly. They're blind. They say I'm a gold digger. You are, he smirked, eyes closed. You dug me out of the trash heap when we were 7. I'm the gold. You found me. I laughed, flicking his forehead. He caught my hand and kissed the palm. Zoe. Yeah, I'm not taking the role in the Gilded Cage.
Why?
It's the role of a lifetime. I'm producing my own movie. It's about 2 kids who grew up under a bridge. One becomes a star, and the other saves him. Sounds cliché, I teased. Maybe. But the ending is better. He sat up, his eyes clear and bright, the shadows of the last 3 years finally receding. How does it end? I asked. Levi leaned in, his lips brushing mine. It doesn't. They just keep going. Us against the world. The camera on the coffee table flashed. I had set the timer. The photo came out blurry. We were out of focus, just 2 tangled shapes in the messy light. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't glamorous. It was us. And for the first time in my life, I didn't care what the caption would be.